Hey, welcome to the Future of Contact Centers podcast. I'm your host, Trevor Clark. With me is Nate and Moore. We're just a couple of guys that think that there's a really bright future ahead for contact center technology. We're going to talk about trends. We're going to talk about a lot of the innovation that's happening in our sector. And today, specifically, we're going to talk a little bit about AI, which we hear a lot about in contact center space, but specifically how that's going to help staffing and workforce management, and give you a little bit of insight in how we're using AI at ShyftOff. So, anything else you think we should cover today?
It's been the hot topic of 2023. Every conference we've been to, a lot of meetings we've taken, AI has been the forefront of it, and I think there's a lot to unpack and a lot of clarity. So hopefully we provide some clarity around how AI is being utilized in contact centers today.
Yeah, and I think the last year especially has been exciting with OpenAI releasing ChatGPT. I think a lot of people have become more familiar with what it means.
Right.
Like, what is AI? What is it capable of? And in our world, we look at, we don't consider ourselves an AI company. We consider ourselves a company that is getting really good at using AI to be better at our
That's a good point.
I
think it's AI. So AI has been around for a while, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And so now it's just, to your point, the past year, it's really becoming more of a focal point on how people work in business. And I think for us, we actually don't even like talking about AI at the forefront of what we do. One, we're not an AI company. But second, to your point, you said it well, we're just using it well, right? It's a tool in the workforce. It's a tool in the world that we're using to cater to our business and our clients.
Yeah, I think it unlocks a lot of opportunities with a flexible workforce. So we're going to really focus on how AI can be useful in workforce management.
Sure.
That's core to our operation. So first of all, workforce management, for those of you that don't know, is really the sort of planning and forecasting, scheduling, and sort of day-to-day ops of a contact center. So really it's making sure you have the right number of people with the right training and background and skill set at the exact right time. Mm-hmm. And this is where I think our company innovates the most. With a flexible workforce, you suddenly now you can achieve perfection in workforce management. Workforce management, you've always got bloat. You've always got extra costs just to make sure you have people when you need them. But we've changed that. And AI is actually going to unlock even more precision, right?
Right.
So I would talk a little bit about that. I don't know if you had anything else to add before we kind of jump into.
No, I think it's a good point. I think we'll get into it too. But AI has really allowed contact centers to free up human resources too, because workforce management and oversight has been, traditionally overseen by a lot of people. And it is pretty much reliant on data and human, I don't want to call it error, but discretion.
Yeah.
Right. So AI says, hey, there's a better way to do it. There's a lot of tools out there, and we're leveraging it to ensure that we have perfect staffing at all times. But
one of the companies I used to work for, I won't go into who, but there were 70 people on the workforce team, and I would say 2/3 of those folks were what we call real time, which would literally monitor the floor, make sure each individual is doing their job, which is probably what you had to do, but today
so tedious.
That role doesn't even exist in our world, and we've got perfect staffing. So to your point, like we're talking about major efficiencies and eliminating human oversight, because that doesn't really work. It creates a lot of other issues too.
In my past firm too, to your point, like we had a workforce team or individual that was on every single account. So think about that when you're running a contact center or an outsourcing firm, you've got multiple tens of clients and you need to have a team or an individual managing it. That person's going to take off. That person isn't going to see every single trend. That person works 5 days a week, maybe. So there's a lot of complexities that in workforce management that I think AI helps to clean up, and I'm happy that we're at the forefront of it.
Yeah, I think the other thing is interesting with AI. I think people overplay it. And so I see AI... Like at our core, like I think our ability to dynamically release schedules and match agents to the demand curve is exceptional, and that's our biggest value. But really, that's not even AI or machine learning at this point.
Yeah.
It's arithmetic.
Yeah.
It's just basic logic. So there's a lot of conflation of technology that isn't AI with AI. But I think what's really interesting is how you can use AI to evaluate, but basically remove some of this human error-prone sort of evaluation. I'm really excited about our AI matching that we used to basically figure out, I'll give you the example. One time we had a very small campaign. You know this one. We had a very small campaign, like 5 people. We were just going to do a small pilot, and within overnight we had 533 of our people from our network opt in for that role.
Wow, yeah.
But it was crazy. We didn't have a recruiting problem like many people do. We had another problem, which is, okay, of that 533 people, which ones are going to be best at this role? And this role in particular was a sales position. So all of
outbound, not cold, but outbound,
yeah, it was
warmish. It wasn't.
It was a specific skill.
It wasn't hot leads.
Our inbound tech support people probably aren't the best fit for this. But instead of having a human go through 533 resumes, and they won't, and they'll cut corners because it's a lot of work.
Sure.
We had to find another solution, and what we developed is an ability to bring in those applications. We're taking data from their resume, but also long form written responses, video interview responses, personality exams. All of this is being dumped into an AI model that is deciding whether or not this person is a good fit for this exact campaign, and everyone's different, right? That's yielded a lot of amazing results for us, and it keeps our recruiting process really tight. To me, that's how you apply AI in a contact center, is that you find a way to make your operation better using this new technology.
Yeah.
That's how I think our company succeeds well. I mean, when we launched this, the other cool thing is when we launched this program, we immediately saw a 300% improvement in sales with the agents that came through on AI matching.
Yeah.
It was staggering, and we're using it across every campaign.
And then I think you have to use that data responsibly too, right? So then when we know somebody's good at what they do, you want to keep them there. You don't want to say, hey, now go try this, because people don't want to do that. Like when people find out, we talked a lot about this in prior episodes, a home, they want to stay at that home, right? You don't want to always be moving.
Yeah.
You want to find your home, you want to like your home, and you want to live in there for a long time. So we're using that data responsibly too to say, hey, Trevor, you're really great at inbound sales. You're really great at outbound sales, or you're really great at customer service inbound. Like, you need to stay here. Stop. Yeah. Don't think about it too much. So we're trying to use that data back to the agents, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, they appreciate it. Hey, this might not be a good fit for you. Here's why.
Right.
Oh, glad I didn't
they don't
waste
want to
my
worry
time.
about. They don't want to worry about how, to a point, they don't want to worry about all these little metrics and how they're doing in data. They just want to show up, work, and make money like most people do. And so we're trying to help them with that and say, hey, Trevor, you're doing a really good job in this vertical. Stay in this vertical.
Yeah. No.
So
that's important.
I think that's good. And you mentioned a good thing where we're trying to ease the operations or make our operations better. And I think that's where we've been very transparent with our clients in terms of we're going to use AI to do that right now. Yeah. We're going to, a lot of these tasks that take a lot of manpower and a lot of time that we don't believe is really giving back that much value. We're going to lean into AI and rising technology in general to help free up that space. So when you say it's workforce management, it's having somebody say, hey, here's my call volume. We're going to take that call volume, digest it. Here are the staffing that we need for it. It's identifying the right agents. And also, from identification, AI also helps us bridge experience gaps because we're able to kind of pull individuals that have experience in one vertical, one industry that otherwise we wouldn't know. Right. Or you'd have to spend days or weeks to interview to find that. And we don't have that time.
No, absolutely.
No one has that time.
Right.
So
yeah, I think the other, along those same lines, so back to workforce management and planning, it's the right number of people with the right skill sets at exactly the right time. That's really what workforce management is solving for. And so, to your point, matching agents with the right experience and maybe natural skill set is key to that process. Then also, you can use AI for simulations. This is another area where we have our own technology for this, but getting agents practice, so like almost simulating a nesting environment before they're in nesting, getting them as many at-bats as they can beforehand. So now you're giving them the right experience. And so the agents can actually go to production almost immediately hitting their targets. You totally skip that learning curve, so you have exactly the right number of people with the right skills at exactly the right time. And so that brings me to maybe the next part, which is knowing exactly when the right time is. And that's another great application for AI. Forecasting used to be an Excel exercise. And I think at this point,
Well, I still think people do that.
Oh, I mean, I do. It always ends up in Excel, but but there's some pretty amazing, like Facebook Profit. There's a really great machine learning algorithm out there that helps you predict future volumes or future events.
Sure.
This is stuff that's kind of become more widely used in the past few years, and it's just going to get better. And so now, when you look at a company like ShyftOff or any contact center, we should be using these tools to look at our historical data and then project forward what we expect volume, handle times, arrival patterns to be. And that coupled with a dynamic scheduling and flexible on-demand staffing model means you've perfected your contact center. Yeah.
It's really powerful. And clients have requested us to take that over for them. Like, they don't want to handle the forecasting and the staffing. They want us to take that all over. And it's probably because they have some of these issues where maybe they don't have the resources or the budget or
and we want to take it over because we're good at it, and we're gonna get better occupancies, so that means lower cost, and you can hold us accountable to the abandon rates or service level targets you set. At the end of the day, we can optimize this.
Yeah,
like no other operation can.
Yeah, it behooves us to take it over, and we do for clients. But some clients that are asking us to take it over, it's like, thanks. It's like, why didn't we ask them first?
Yeah.
That's what I think of when I get that question from my clients. Like, yeah, that's what we should be doing nonstop. Yeah. So that's good stuff with workforce management.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of AI, again, really focusing on workforce management. I know we talked a little about matching and training. I think that is relevant to, again, the right number of people with the right skills at the right time. I'm sure this will continue to develop. I mean, we're launching new technology, monthly, and we're learning more about our business every day. And so I can imagine that 6 months, a year from now, we're going to have even more to talk about on this. Yep. But anything else at the top of your mind right now for as far as it pertains to AI and workforce management?
No, I think workforce management, there's a lot of tools out there. It's definitely evolving. I think we covered that. We're leaning into it to improve proficiencies and make, like you said it really well, like make our operations better, period.
That's it. So I think that's my view on AI, at least in our space.
Yep.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you guys for tuning into the episode. Love to hear your feedback, your thoughts. Obviously this is a hot topic, AI. I'm sure there's a lot of opinions out there. Please let us know what you think. Thanks for tuning in.
See you guys. Bye.